Hello my friends, and welcome back to Ration Nerd. I really appreciate you spending some time on this goofy ass channel with me. It's Sunday, you know what day it is. It's totally Ration Review Day. So today, I gotta bring it home to the USA. We're gonna do some US M.O.R.Es. Although I find US M.O.R.Es a little bit on the boring side, I figure I can make it a whole lot more fun for you and me by doing a comparison of a current issue, menu number 14, which is Mexican style rice and bean bowl, and an old menu number 14, which is creamy spinach fettuccine, affectionately nicknamed Spinach Barfacini, at least by this guy, because I've had this menu before and it's fucking horrible. But we're going to go for it anyway because they're both menu number 14, and just because I'm hangry, because this is going to be my first meal of the day, I put in a M.O.R.E, which is a modular operational ration enhancement. So we're going to crack into both of these menus. We're going to see what is contained in each one. We'll see if anything is still edible in this old menu number 14. And you guys know I need your help. I need you to do it because I can't do this all by myself, because I need you to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, talk to me in the chat. All interaction on the channel helps the channel grow, gets it out to more people, gets more people here watching my goofy ass content, and I'll keep making it if you keep watching it. So if you guys could hit those buttons for me, I'd greatly appreciate you. Now let's bust into these rations. I guess we will go age before beauty, if you consider that beauty, but yeah, whatever. We will see what you get in the old menu number 14, creamy spinach barfacini. So let's check this guy out. I mean, at this point, these bags really are kind of collector's items. So everything's stuffed in one bag. Kind of lost the vacuum seal on that one. That is okay. I'm not expecting a whole lot from this ration, but we will see. It's really going to depend on what the storage conditions of this ration were, and quite honestly, I'm not really sure. Since I've owned it, which has been about maybe a year now, it's been in a very climate-controlled environment. But before that, hell if I know, this could have been like behind somebody's backseat roasting in a car all day. Alright, so what is on the menu? There's your creamy spinach barfacini. That's horrible. And that package does not look like it has any delamination. That still looks pretty good. That's very unfortunate for this guy, because I may actually have to eat this shit. So we got some creamy spinach barfacini. And we got our creamy spinach barfacini sleeve. Cran raspberry flavor first strike bar. That's pretty awesome. Then we have some peanut butter, and I'm hoping this didn't go rancid. It would suck if it did, but you know what? It certainly would not be the first rancid peanut butter that's ever gone into this face hole, so I'll get over it even if it is. So we know this ration's not too old because it's 1 ounce of peanut butter. It should be 1.5 ounces if it was much older. So this is probably either 2008 or 2018. I'm thinking it's 2018, so it's not super ancient. You still have the 1 ounce peanut butter package, so I guess our soldiers aren't worth the extra ½ ounce of peanut butter. I think they are. I think they need to put the extra fucking ½ ounce of peanut butter back in the ration. We have a chocolate protein drink powder. That ought to taste like chemicals and nasty, but we will mix it up and try it out. Why not? We have your classic M.O.R.E spoon. That's always good. Crushed red pepper, just kind of randomly rolling around in the pack there. And an absolutely worthless flameless ration heater. Have our accessory kit. Get into that in a second. Then we have your beverage bag. These things are, well, kind of useful, kind of not. Should have a gusset on the bottom, more like the Canadian, but I've never made too bad of a mess in one of these, so I can say that the Ziploc at least works on these things. Honey mustard and onion pretzels. You know, I'm feeling like I should just smash this up into dust, put it in the spinach barfacini to maybe like save the day. We'll find out. Very cool ration item though. And we have a pack of crackers. Crackers are always good. Crackers and peanut butter. And we'll break into that accessory kit. Coffee instant. Type 2 spray dried, hell yeah, coffee. Then we have some creamer, non-dairy, which is awesome. That's for the coffee, in case you didn't know. And a pack of salt. And we have our booger paper. This is for a booger. This is not for wiping your butt. Unless you have an exceptionally tiny butt, this is not going to even begin to wipe your butt. So this is a pack of booger paper. Thanks for the booger paper, but we're going to need something to wipe that ass. And we have a moist towelette. A pack of sugar. We'll just put that right over here with the coffee where it belongs. Some cinnamon chewing gum, which you can denote by the red packaging. Then we have some matches which are designed especially for damp climates, but will not light when wet or after long exposure, several weeks, to very damp air. And those have nice white tips. And not a crazy flame explosion, but it's a match and it totally works. So this is everything inside of a 2018 menu number 14 spinach barfettini. We're going to move all this mess out of the way and make room so we can see what is in the current production menu number 14. And this is menu number 14, Mexican style rice and bean bowl. And this is also in the new style packaging, which I'm not exactly on board with. It's a thinner plastic. I know it saves weight. I think it's more of a money saving thing for the US military. I think they could have just simply taken the old thick bag and vacuum sealed it to get it down to a smaller package. Maybe even just put less bag there and got it down to this size without resorting to clear plastic, which will definitely allow light in to sun bleach the components over time. That's not a good look as far as I'm concerned. Yes, this is more compact and easier to stuff into a pack, but realistically, a soldier is going to field strip this anyway, even if it is in this smaller package, so I just think it's kind of a waste of time. Really, it's just a money-saving effort for the US military. That's my personal opinion. And this was just produced in 2024, so this is the freshest of the fresh rations. We have our Mexican rice and beans right out of the gate, and our nutritional facts and heating sleeve. We have pretzel nuggets, honey mustard, and onion flavor. This item is a direct carryover from the other menu number 14, so that's pretty awesome. Here are the two packages side by side. They are both coming in at 120 calories. They are both 1 ounce of pretzels, so nothing has changed except for the packaging. We'll compare the pretzels and see if there's any difference, but it looks like it's in slightly more convenient packaging. Although this packaging, the new packaging, certainly feels thinner. And we have a crayon raspberry first strike bar that's definitely been smashed up pretty good. We have our accessory kit, not too shabby. And we have 1 ounce of peanut butter, a pack of crackers, chocolate protein drink powder. That's interesting. Picante seasoning. That ought to be pretty awesome. I'm really looking forward actually to trying that out. Your classic M.O.R.E spoon. And a flameless ration heater. I'm not going to immediately shit on this flameless ration heater simply because I have heard that the new FRHs in the US military rations, when you get them brand new, actually work pretty good. So we're going to give this one a try against my better judgment, and we will see if the brand new US flameless ration heater is any good. So let's check out that accessory kit. Oh, I got lucky. I actually got the menu that still has coffee in it. Amaze balls. We got some Bill's Brew going on. We have some coffee creamer. We have our moist towelette. We have a pack of artificial sweetener. What kind of shenanigans is that? Ugh. We have our booger paper. We have a pack of spearmint gum. A little bitty pack of salt. And we actually have a regular pack of sugars. You get a sugar-free sweetener and a regular pack of sugar. I guess I kind of take it back, hating on the fact that there was artificial sweetener in there. All right, so this is everything contained in a current production, menu number 14, produced in 2024. I'll get this out of the way so we can see what's in that M.O.R.E or more pack. All right, so this is a modular operational ration enhancement or more, used if a soldier just has to have some more calories in their day, or for extended operations, or if they just want more. I'm pretty sure they don't just hand these things out like candy. There would have to be a reason why they gave you one. You needed a whole bunch of extra calories. So let's bust into this modular operational ration enhancement or more and see what you get when you need more. All right off the bat, we have a pack of crackers. We have a small mocha flavored dessert bar that's 1.2 ounces. We have that's very interesting, cheddar potato with artificial bacon bits spread soup mix. That's crazy. So I guess it's a spread or a soup mix. I'm going to have to get my magnifying glass out so I can try to read the fine print on this thing to see if you can actually make this into a soup. Actually, it says it right here on the package. I don't even need a magnifying glass. Use as a spread or add 3 ounces hot water and mix to make a soup. So I guess you just get 3 ounces of like cheddar potato soup, which is very, very interesting. I'll have to hand it to them on this one. That's a really cool item. And we have a beverage base orange. We have some cheddar cheese baked snack crackers. And lastly, we have some Zapple sauce. This stuff is actually really good. And that 4.5 ounces of Zapple sauce, it tastes really good. You have to be careful though. It has a bunch of maltodextrin in it. That is the second ingredient. First being apples, second being maltodextrin. If you're sensitive to maltodextrin, this will definitely get your heart a pumping. So this is everything inside of a modular operational ration enhancement or more. So we are going to get the alt ration out onto a tray. It's probably going to be pretty nasty, but that's okay. And we have a metric shit ton of US M.O.R.E components out on the table right now. So there should be absolutely no problem in finding some edible things to stop me from being so goddamn hangry. So I'm going to get our first meal out onto the tray, and I'll be right back. And I know exactly what's going to happen to me. I am going to try to heat this spinach barfacini up in this flameless ration heater. It is going to get it just warm enough to piss me off, and then I'm going to have to go boil it anyway. So I'm just going to throw that away because that's where it belongs, is in the trash. I'm going to go boil this spinach fettuccine. And all right, so now that we've got a nice hot main, let's start cracking into everything. Let's get those crackers out onto the tray. They were under a nice vacuum seal. They smell a little bit old, but that's okay. I'm really not worried about this ration being from 2018. All the preservatives that are in the US M.O.R.E should have kept this thing, well, perfectly fine. And those crackers have definitely seen better days. It's more or less just cracker dust in the bottom of the package. And that cran raspberry flavored First Strike bar. Looking good. Let's check out these honey mustard and onion pretzels. That's a pretty small portion, but I'm sure they're pretty yummy. And you know we gotta start making that coffee. Instant Type 2 spray dried. We'll definitely give it its day in court. Smells, actually smells more like chemicals than coffee. I don't know what that's all about. And we're definitely gonna need that sugar. And we're gonna rock out with that creamer, because the coffee needs the cream, goddammit. That tear notch was pretty much worthless. And we're going to make this a relatively small cup of coffee, because US coffee is generally pretty damn weak. So that's just about 3.5 or 4 ounces of water. Get your stir on. And that chocolate protein drink powder. And I'm really not looking forward to this chocolate protein powder, because every one of these I've ever had has a very artificial chemical taste to it. It almost like it doesn't even taste like chocolate. It just kind of tastes like chocolate flavored chemicals, if that makes sense. We'll mix it up anyway, and we'll definitely give it its day in court. All right, and this says to fill it up to the line. All right, and now we zip it shut and shake the shit out of it. Shake it like it owes you money isn't even the appropriate adjective for what you need to do to this thing. All right, that was a lot. That was aerobic. So let's see what this chocolate protein powder looks like. We'll get it out into a glass so you guys can lay your dirty little eyeballs on it. And now it's definitely time for the main attraction, the spinach barfacini. So in an effort to give this hateful menu variation the best possibility of tasting decent, I boiled this thing for about 12 minutes, so it is super hot. I have to admit, every time I've had this menu, I've used the FRH, so it was, well, definitely just hot enough to piss me off. Maybe getting this thing piping hot will change the flavor profile of it. I highly doubt that, but we'll see when we get it out onto the tray. The dreaded spinach. Oh, it just looks bad. The spinach barfacini just swimming around in there. Oh, here we go. Oh, this stuff smells hideous. Now, I normally like spinach fettuccine in real life. So it's not even like I'm picking on this menu because it's something that I do not like in real life. I am picking on this menu because it sucks. I'll withhold judgment until I get a bite of it. But I am certainly coming into this a little biased. So we'll take what crackers we can salvage and get ourselves some peanut butter cracker action going on. Now, US M.O.R.E peanut butter, when it's good, it's always good. In other words, when it's not spoiled, it's always pretty damn good. And it has a really amazing shelf life. As welcome of an addition as peanut butter is to any ration, it really is a kick in the teeth. They took this from 1.5 ounces down to 1 ounce. It really is just absolute shenanigans. So let's see if that peanut butter stood the test of time. Not that it's that old. It's from 2018. I'm sure this is going to be just fine. The peanut butter is just fine. Those crackers, however, this ration must have really been stored in a warm environment, because those crackers, they taste like ass. They taste kind of like an old library book smells, which certainly means they've been heat stressed. They're prematurely turning inside of that package. There's just nothing like having a cracker that tastes like an old library book. It's just off the hook. We gotta definitely give this coffee a little sip. You know, I have to say, I like that way better than the modern Bill's Brew coffee. This Type 2 spray dried is actually not too bad, as long as you don't put too much water in it. A little 3 or 4 ounce portion of this older Type 2 spray dried, that's where it's at. That's a pretty decent cup of coffee. And decent in the sense that it's kind of like an old cup of diner coffee that's been sitting in the pot a little bit too long. Not that that's horrible. It's obviously not like a quality coffee. It doesn't really have that nutty roasted flavor. It's just bare bones, kind of tastes like burnt coffee. And that's okay. It's not horrible for ration coffee. There really could be more of it to actually have a decent sized cup of coffee. But this 3 or 4 ounce portion, if you like your coffee to actually taste like coffee, that's pretty much where it's at. Let's check out these honey mustard pretzels. Feast your eyes on that little carbohydrate goodness. And those are excellent. If you've never had a honey mustard flavored pretzel, the best thing I can say is it tastes like a pretzel that's coated with sweet mustard and onion. Again, onion powder definitely has a little bit of sweet mustard flavor to it. These are excellent. A really great ration addition. I just wish the portion was a little larger. I know they're balancing calories here, but from a satisfaction perspective, especially as bad as this main is very likely to suck, as you can see, I'm trying to put off taking a bite of that as long as possible. So let's take a look and a sip of this chocolate protein shake. As you can see, that didn't mix up all that great, and they never do in my experience. They're always kind of chunky no matter how hard or how much you shake it. Let's get a taste of that and see what it's all about. And that's pretty much exactly how I explained it to you. The front end of that does have a nice chocolatey flavor, but at the back end of it, whatever chemicals they're adding to this thing, whatever additives are in here, as well as the protein source, it just has this weird chemical aftertaste that's kind of off-putting. If you were just dealing with the flavor on the front end when it first goes into your face hole, this would actually be great. But it's the background flavors as well as the aftertaste that really kill this thing for me. It just tastes really artificial, and it just tastes like chocolate chemicals at the end. That's really a shame. If they could get rid of that chocolate chemical flavor, this would be a pretty rockin' beverage. So I guess I've put it off long enough. I guess I have to get a mouthful of this nastiness. So this spinach fettuccine has never ever been my favorite menu. I've probably eaten it 3 or 4 or 5 times, and each time I was never able to finish the main. So I've given it plenty of chances. But take a look at that. We're going to get a bite of this, and then I'll explain it to you. Probably be better that way. Oh, and that is just as bad as I remember it. I heated this thing up like crazy. It's a little bit better being really hot and having no cold spots in it, but wow, this menu, it's just very bitter. It tastes like garlic and spinach, but not in a good way. Like if you were to saute me up some garlic and spinach, I would love it. But this is just, it's like a very bitter garlic flavor. The noodles are really mushy. The spinach is, the whole thing is just nasty. It's just got this bitter garlic mushy noodle. It's like it's trying really hard to be some kind of fettuccine, and it's just not happening. This sauce isn't creamy like a fettuccine, like an Alfredo sauce would be. It's just this weird, like, goopy consistency. Like, there's no creaminess to this sauce at all. It's just kind of there. It just tastes like ass. There's nothing else I can say about it other than I'm really glad they ditched the spinach barfacini as a menu item in the U.S. lineup, because I can't imagine getting stuck with this menu and being really hungry and just how demoralizing it would be to eat this bitter, nasty slop. I guess I'm getting another bite of it because that's what we do here. We eat things even if we don't like them. Oh, there's some mushroom pieces floating around in there. It's just so bitter and so nasty and just disgusting. I can't believe our soldiers ever got stuck eating this filthy, disgusting menu. It's so bad. Like, I don't know how long this was on the U.S. lineup, but thank God they got rid of it because it's just so disgusting. And there's nothing redeeming about that in any way, shape, or form. I guess we'll try. We got this crushed red pepper. And we'll throw some salt on there, even though that's like adding insult to injury when it comes to a U.S. M.O.R.E. So we'll give this a stir in. I'm not expecting there to be really any change in this other than it just be, well, maybe spicy and salty filth, but we'll get it mixed in there. And we'll give it a shot just to say that we did. All right, here goes. Salt and crushed red pepper. Oh, all that did was accentuate an already bitter flavor. I mean, it has a little bit of heat to it, but otherwise, one more bite, and that's the end of this menu for me. I can't do it. Oh, that's so nasty. Again, I feel pretty horrible for any U.S. soldier that had to eat that on any kind of regular basis. As a citizen of the United States of America, I apologize. You are owed a great debt that we will likely never be able to repay to you for forcing you to eat that filth on any kind of regular basis. Nothing like wasting some perfectly good peanut butter on crackers that taste like library books. U.S. M.O.R.E. crackers and a lot of U.S. M.O.R.E. components last a hell of a long time. I took a bite of it, the whole damn thing like fell apart in my hand. What a mess. All right, I know what you're thinking. I didn't do the spinach barfacini enough justice, so I'm going to try to do anything and everything to rescue one more bite of the barfacini before I throw it away, because this spinach barfacini is bound for the trash can where it belongs, where I personally believe it has always belonged, was in the dumpster. So we will mix it with some crackers, although this may not be very fair because, well, these crackers taste like library books. But maybe that library book flavor is just what this spinach barfacini needs to taste good. Library books and spinach barfacini, maybe that's a thing somewhere. It's totally not here, but you never know. Last, absolutely, this time is totally the last bite. We have some spinach barfacini with some crackers that taste like old library books. And this, I hope, is the last time I ever have to try this menu. There are some ration items I will absolutely miss as time goes on. This is not one of those items. I will never, ever miss the spinach barfacini. Oh, yeah, no, that's disgusting. It's just hot, salty library books with garlic and what? No, just is so disgusting. Let me get something that actually tastes good in the old face hole so I can get some of that filthiness out of my mouth. These honey mustard pretzels, they taste just like the day they were made, or at least I think they taste like the day that they were made. These things are excellent. These honey mustard pretzels are absolutely awesome. This is a great ration item, and it's funny to see that so many of the items carried over and were exactly the same. Honey mustard pretzels, same flavor first strike bar, peanut butter, and crackers. It's all pretty much the same. Should we clean the palate with some chocolate chemical funkiness? Why not? You know, it's funny. The closer you get to the bottom of that, the more of that nasty, weird chemical flavor it takes on. That last drink was pretty horrible. That's not great. I'm going to clean that out of my face with this, because this at least is normal. Now let's get on to that cranberry raspberry first strike bar. These things are pretty awesome. Full of maltodextrin. Nice and chewy and sweet though. Take a look at this guy. I don't think I've ever met a first strike bar I didn't like. So let's get a bite of this cran raspberry first strike bar. I'm going to like it because these things are pretty banging. And you can even see what looks like some smashed fruit pulp over here on this side. It's pretty rare that you'll hear me get excited about a US M.O.R.E item. This is certainly one of those items that I really enjoy though. These are very sweet. I have a little bit of crunchies in there. Extremely chewy, very satisfying as far as that sweet, chewy, just like something to do with your face experience. So it's very satisfying, very yummy. Flavor is excellent. That cranberry and raspberry mixed together really makes for an epic bar. These things are awesome. Well guys, that was the first course in this crazy 3-course US M.O.R.E meal we're rocking today. I will be right back after I clean up this tray, get that filth in the trash where it belongs, finish up that cran raspberry first strike bar because it's awesome. Then I'm going to wash those glasses and I'll be right back for round 2. And in round 2, we're going to go after that modular operational ration enhancement. We're going to check out what's in that more before we get on to having the real meal. Applesauce, cheddar cheese snack crackers, beverage base orange. Really looking forward to this cheddar potato spread. That shit sounds amazing. Our little mocha bar and some crackers. Let's get all this crap out. See what our second course for the day is like. That mocha flavored first strike bar. It's just a little guy. A nice vacuum pack on those crackers. Hopefully these don't taste like old library books. That would really suck. These operational enhancements, these things are relatively new. Just baked snack crackers. So essentially, Cheez-Its. And we got that beverage base orange. I was definitely happy that this was not an electrolyte powder because those things just never want to seem to mix up properly. Let's check out that orange drink. Oh, as we pour it all over the table, because that's what we do. Where'd that booger paper get off to? That's all that stuff is good for. It is certainly not enough paper to wipe your ass. At least not mine. I don't know, probably no human beings on the planet. I think it might take more toilet paper to wipe an infant's ass than they're giving you here in this US M.O.R.E. I call it bullshit. Like, give a guy enough paper to wipe their ass efficiently. And we'll get that Zapple sauce out so we can see it. And that's actually a good bit of Zapple sauce. Alright, and the piece that I'm really, really interested in, the most interesting piece, is this cheddar potato with artificial bacon bits spread / soup mix. This stuff, I'm actually really looking forward to trying this. This is a brand new component that I have never had before. It certainly doesn't look like the US processed cheddar cheese, which is, well, refreshing. Let me try some of that by itself. Oh, it's very saucy. Check that out. The baked potato spread. Let's give that a little taste. It's actually good and bad at the same time. It's very odd. It has a really good flavor. The texture sucks. It has a very gritty texture. So I guess maybe it's supposed to be a soup more than it is a spread. That's pretty much what the texture's like. Sandy baked potato with cheese? I don't know. Let's try it on a cracker and sort this shit out. You absolutely want to have this spread on a cracker. It's almost like you don't notice the texture when it's on the cracker, which is a really good thing. I know you're not supposed to just slurp this right out of the package, but that grainy texture is very off-putting when you get some of it by itself. On a cracker, though, not too bad. There we go. Let's get this all portioned out onto some crackers, because that's actually really good. Very interesting at the very least. It's a very interesting component. Actually has a really good flavor. I would have liked to have tried this as a soup, but I'll be honest with you, it's really good on these crackers, and it's also very different and new, to me at least. If I get this again in another US M.O.R.E that I'm doing a review on, I'll definitely make this into a soup. And this is one of those weird things, the bacon bits are getting stuck in the package, like they don't want to come out with the cheese sauce. And that's kind of a bummer. I know they're faking bits, they're not real, but they do impart some flavor to it. So that's awesome. Cheddar potato spread with artificial bacon bits. That is a really cool ration item. I have to hand it to them. They did a really good job on this one. The combination of that cheddar potato spread and those Cheez-Its was actually pretty great. I imagine if you really wanted to, you could make that into a soup. You could smash these up into tiny little pieces and add them to that soup, and it'd be pretty damn epic. So these Cheez-Its, well, if you've never had Cheez-Its, I'm sorry. You must be living under a rock. But in case you haven't had Cheez-Its and you are in fact living under a rock, these are basically just toasted cheese crackers. They're pretty decent, nothing crazy, nothing spectacular. If you're in the middle of a war zone, I'm pretty sure you'd be digging some Cheez-Its. We're going to have to top off that cracker with some Cheez-Its. And let's clean the palate with some of this orange drink. And that orange drink is definitely way above the small packets of sugar-free orange drink. Because that's fortified with sugar and maltodextrin, they definitely went to some trouble to actually make that taste good. Actually has a little bit of an orange oil flavor to it, which actually gives it a little bit of a natural flavor. It's pretty damn good. And let's get a bite of that Zapple sauce. If you know what applesauce tastes like, you pretty much know what Zapple sauce tastes like. The big difference is this is loaded with maltodextrin and a bit of extra ascorbic acid. So just think of it as an extremely sweet applesauce that has a little bit of a vitamin C or lemon zing to it. This stuff is actually really good. And that applesauce absolutely does not disappoint. Nice and sweet. If you like applesauce, you would certainly like this. I really do like the packaging that it comes in. Just being able to like slurp it right out of there. I'm going to keep rocking on these cheddar potato crackers. And finally, we'll get a bite of this little mini chocolate flavored First Strike bar. And that mocha flavored First Strike bar, honestly, tastes better than the damn coffee I just had. And that's a crying shame. This has a much better coffee flavor to it than the damn coffee. They need to take better care of our soldiers. Nobody is taking their First Strike bar and trying to make this into a goddamn cup of coffee. Give our soldiers better coffee. When your mocha flavored First Strike bar tastes better than the goddamn coffee, you got problems with your ration. Okay, everybody, this was round 2. I'm going to finish up those crackers with that cheddar potato spread. It's pretty epic. I'll have a few more bites of applesauce, eat me some Cheez-Its, and I'm going to sip on that orange beverage while I'm getting everything cleaned up and ready for the main event. I'll be right back. Well, all right, everybody, we are back with part 3. I had to wait a little while. I was a little full, but that's okay. This isn't a full 24-hour review, but we certainly did break this up into a separate meal. Putting more food on the old stomach after that spinach barfacini, just not for me. We're back with some dinner. The first thing we're going to do is get this brand new flameless ration heater going and see if we can actually get a nice hot meal. I will be pleasantly surprised if we do. So that heating element, well, looks roughly the same as the old style. Is a little bit different. Maybe the chambers are a little bit more defined in this than the old style, but we will see how it works. So let's struggle our way through getting this in here. I will do my absolute best not to overfill this. Wow, that actually took right off. Okay. That's working. Hopefully it actually works instead of just puts on a good show in the beginning and then just kind of dies out. We will see. All right, we're going to leave this sit for about 10 minutes. But in the meantime, let's make that coffee. Now, I am definitely not going to add a ton of water to the Bill's Brew because Bill's Brew is typically really weak. So I'm going to go with that 3 or 4 ounce cup of coffee again. Got to get that cream in the coffee. And we got to stir that coffee because it's on the table and it's driving me crazy. Even though it sucks, I still want some coffee. And just because we just made it and it's still nice and hot, we'll give Mr. Bill a little sip and pass judgment. That's not too bad. Very light roast coffee. Definitely stick to 3 or 4 ounces of water in that. Otherwise, it would just taste like, well, kind of tastes like dirty water. So let's start getting the rest. Let's start getting the rest of this stuff out on the tray. We have our pretzel nuggets, honey mustard and onion flavor. complete with do not eat. Check out those crackers. Hopefully these guys survived a little better than the last pack. Crackers that actually stayed whole this time. That's always nice. Get that cran raspberry first strike bar. This is pretty redundant, but you know what? It is really neat that they carried over a lot of the same items from the 2018 to the 2024 ration. And let's get some of those crackers pre-staged with some peanut butter action. You really got to squeeze the hell out of that package to get all of your just 1 ounce of peanut butter out of that thing. And I forgot all about this chocolate protein drink powder, probably because I'm not a big fan. But you know what? We are going to get it mixed up. I don't know. Maybe if I get lucky, they change the formula. That would be awesome. Oh no, don't tell me the Ziplock's not going to work. If the Ziplock doesn't work, this is just going to be a big fat mess. Guess we're just going to have to make a mess together. It's not going to be the first time. You know what? We're not even going to bother. We're just going to get this out into the cup and we'll mix it with the spoon. Otherwise, I'm going to be here all day. Now you'll notice on this one, there is a whole lot more of this protein shake because I put more water in it. That's just a matter of personal preference. I don't like it really thick, even though it's still thickening up really well. But we will come back and stir this guy occasionally from time to time. Shaking it in that pouch is definitely the way to do it. It mixes up a whole lot better than trying to do it with a spoon. But that Ziploc was broken, and I really didn't feel like shaking chocolate drink powder all over the table and making a giant mess. Even though that's what we do, sometimes I just don't want to. All right, we'll come back to that. Let's check on this FRH. Through the magic of editing, this thing's been going for about 5 minutes now. So we'll give that food a squish around. Hopefully distribute that heat a little bit more evenly. I mean, this is working better. You know, it's funny, with this main being Mexican-style rice and bean bowl, I would have figured they would have put tortillas in this ration, because then you could kind of stuff your tortilla inside of this package and make it into kind of like a bowl, or at least rip it up and stick it in there. I'm not seeing how this is a bowl other than just eating it out of the package, but this thing still isn't getting all that hot. We'll give it a couple more minutes and we'll pray over it a little bit. I don't know what else to do, but it's just not hot. It's warm. Don't get me wrong. It's warm. Otherwise, I'm still kind of disappointed with the US flameless ration heater. It's just not doing all that great. I hope it gets better. We'll give it a few more minutes. I was really hoping that in these new rations, they would have solved this issue. Maybe it's just me, but I really feel like our troops deserve better than a lukewarm-ass meal. They already have a kind of miserable existence in the military, or at least potentially could be pretty miserable, depending on what they're doing. And if you're eating out of a bag, at the very least we could do is make it hot for them. If it's going to be kind of half-ass and it's going to have all these fucking chemicals in it, make it hot at least. Make it palatable, make it good, make it hot. So while we're letting that FRH do its thing, this is definitely kind of redundant, having the same items in this menu as the previous. We'll give them a taste just to see if anything's changed. Hopefully these crackers are fresh, and that will be a very big change from the library book crackers we had earlier. And these crackers are absolutely nice and fresh. So is the peanut butter. Obviously, this is a new production ration, but these crackers, when they're fresh and when they're good, they're good. As long as you have something to put on them, pretty much almost flavorless, so you really need something to go on them to make them worth eating. The one thing that's great about these crackers having such a neutral flavor is you can add them to almost any of the mains to help soak up some juice, cut the acidity of something, and just bulk it out a little bit and use up all the crackers. But when these are nice and fresh and you have something good to put on them, like some nice fresh peanut butter, these are pretty banging. 2 thumbs up from Ration Nerd for having coffee in this ration, although I'm sure they added the protein drink to balance out the macronutrients in this ration. It would not have killed them to put one of the small sugar-free drink packets in here just to have something cold and normal to drink rather than that thick, goopy stuff. It certainly would have been nice to have another drink option, and it would have cost them almost no weight in this ration. Those small sugar-free packs of US M.O.R.E drinks weigh almost nothing. I'm going to save that big old hunk of cracker for the main. Let's check out this chocolate protein drink. Take a look at that. Again, withholding judgment because this thing really should have been shaken in the pouch and it was stirred with a spoon. And that's a whole lot better when you thin it down with a little bit more water than they actually call for, it's a lot easier to drink. It doesn't leave that thick coating in your mouth nearly as much. Still has a little bit of that chemical aftertaste. I'm not 100% sure if they changed the formula or if it's just that I thinned it down with a little bit more water. I would highly recommend that. Add a little bit more water than they actually call for. Thin this stuff out. It actually turns out a hell of a lot better than when you make it as recommended, but it is certainly a whole lot more palatable than the last one we just had. That's actually not too horrible. Let's check out these honey mustard and onion pretzels. These things are absolutely awesome. There's nice little toasty spots on there. That's good stuff. I don't know whether it's fresh or they're just using a different manufacturer, but these are just slightly better than the ones we had from 2018. Yes, there's some age on the other ones, but these just have a little bit more of a vibrant flavor, probably because they're new. If you've never had honey mustard and onion pretzel, I sincerely suggest that you go out and get you a bag. These things are awesome. And that man's going on like 12 minutes. That thing better be hot. All right, well, it's been 12 minutes, if not longer. We're going to get this Mexican-style rice and bean bowl out onto the tray. All right, well, that did get decently hot. It is certainly too hot for me to hold at this point, and I am quite honestly amazed by that. That's the first U.S. flameless ration heater I have ever had that made one of the main pouches too hot for me to hold onto. So that is certainly an epic result. Let's get this out on the tray and see what we're working with. Actually smells pretty good. Actually has a really nice aroma to it. That's really surprising. Give me all that burrito bowl. You only get 8 ounces of it, so that's the one thing I'm not crazy about with US M.O.R.Es. You get this small 8-ounce portion of what's supposed to be, well, a meal. That's just not a lot. I know you get a lot of other add-ons to the ration, mostly carbohydrates. That's just not a ton of food for a hungry person. I'm not even a soldier. That's still not a lot of food, even for me. And I'm just sitting here doing a ration review. Let's see what we have in this Mexican-style rice and bean bowl. So we definitely have 2 different types of pinto beans. We have some corn chilling out in there. We have, these are either chilies or green peppers. Kind of hard to tell which one is which, but they're both in there. And rice, and that is about it. This is a no-meat dish, which is pretty unfortunate. Probably would have been better with some steak bits or ground beef or something in here. But we're going to check that out. All right, so before we put any seasoning or anything in there, let's just get a bite of this before we decide to doctor it up with something. Take a look at that. Actually smells really good. It has a really strong smell of really like chili. It smells like chili powder. Doesn't necessarily smell like Mexican food. It really smells more like a canned chili. But let's get it in the face and see what it tastes like. It actually has a little bit of spice, a little bit of heat to it. Quite honestly, just tastes like chili with rice in it. It's not bad at all. It's certainly not the best ration item I've ever had. I'm surprised they didn't give you tortillas with this. That would have been a great combination. Like some tortillas and cheese. You could have kind of made these into little tacos or burritos. That would have made this an excellent menu. The other stuff was nice to have the munch on, but it certainly would have been better to put those calories into some tortillas and a big fat sack of cheese to add to this stuff. It would have made this a whole lot more satisfying. And let's check out that picante seasoning. This is a new item I've never seen before. Definitely really interested to see what this tastes like. That is interesting. It almost looks like a dehydrated sauce. Well, which would make sense because that's what picante is. But let's taste this and see what it's going to bring to the table. Whew, all right. Ooh, that's got a little heat to it. That's definitely going to make things interesting. It's got a little bit of spice, a little bit of salt. Ooh, that's got some hot to it. We're just going to go ahead and go nuts with it. We're going to get it all in there. That is actually really spicy. Doing that on its own by itself might have been a bad idea because that went like right to the back of my throat. Woo. All right, let's get this mixed in here. I don't want a repeat of that where I just have the picante seasoning hitting me in the mouth and just like setting me on fire. Here, let me see if I can put some of the flames out in here. Hold on. Well, that certainly helped. I got to say, I was shocked that picante seasoning was as spicy as it was. It's not going to make you cry or anything, but it was a little shocking, to be honest, that it was that spicy. Really good, though. Let's try this burrito bowl with that picante seasoning added. This ought to be very interesting. Oh, yeah. That picante seasoning brings a really nice flavor to this. Even more heat than it already had, which is really nice. I'm going to try that on a cracker. I really wish I had a whole nother pack of crackers. Gee, I wonder where I just saw 2 packs of crackers, probably in the last 2 meals. But this is dying to be put on a cracker. Really wish they would have given you tortillas with this. That would have been an epic ad, just tortillas and cheese. Check out that big hot spicy mess on a cracker. That's going to be awesome. I have to say, I'm really surprised by this menu item. It's very simple. It's pretty basic. It really just tastes like a good quality canned chili, which is kind of crazy. But this is actually really good. It's crying out for something crispy and crunchy to go in here. The texture is a little bit mushy. The beans don't have a lot of texture to them. But I tell you what, the flavor on this is actually really good. And that FRH actually got it nice and hot. I wonder if over the storage life of that ration, if that FRH is just going to continue to degrade until it's useless. That's one thing they might want to consider doing, is vacuum sealing the FRHs. I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed with this menu so far. Actually, that's not true. I'm impressed with this main. The main is really awesome. Even coming in at right around the 1200 calorie mark, this ration, although it has a lot of calories, it's mostly carbohydrates, which is a real bitch. I would have rather seen them double the size of the main and give you less carbohydrate type items to go with it. I think it would be a lot more satisfying for a soldier if they gave them a 16-ounce main and cut down on some of the other carbohydrate-filled items that come in this ration. I know it would make it heavier, but it would certainly make a much more satisfied soldier. I'm going to get all those crunchy bits and get them over here. That's where they need to be. Like a little something crunchy in here. Absolutely awesome. Get some of that honey mustard flavor going on over here. Just flick all the crumbs. Give me all the crumbs. That's the only thing this particular main is lacking. It's just texture. If I had a whole pack of crackers to scoop this up with, it would be so much better. Huh. My mouth is literally on fire. This is really spicy with that picante seasoning added. Holy shit. My forehead is literally starting to perspire. I'm going to get this last bite in my face before my mouth catches on fire. Good God. Whew. See if we can put some of these flames out. Nothing like your mouth being on fire to get you to drink that damn thing. And even though I just drank all that, trying to get the burning sensation to subside in my face, it's still going. That was really hot, really spicy. That's a great seasoning. And last but certainly not least, that cran raspberry first strike bar. I love these things. I know they're chock full of chemicals and they're just not good for you. But these things are just awesome. These taste amazing. And honestly, it's even more flavorful when it's fresh. The one I had from 2018 was still amazing, still had great flavor. This one is literally 1.5 times as powerful on the raspberry and cranberry flavor. That's absolutely awesome. Well, guys, that was the third course in this US M.O.R.E Fest in honor of menu number 14. I'm absolutely going to finish that coffee. Because I have it. I'm going to eat the rest of that first strike bar because it's amazing and my mouth is still kind of on fire. There's not a whole lot left to talk about. The gum is gum, the salt we didn't need, and the rest of the accessories, maybe I will pick a booger here shortly. Well, everybody, that was a 3-course US M.O.R.E feast. We went through both menu number 14s from 2018 as well as a brand new one from 2024 in the new crappy packaging. I'm really glad they got rid of creamy spinach fettuccine. That's certainly one of the worst US M.O.R.E mains I think I've ever tried, and probably maybe close to one of the worst mains in the US lineup in history. That main is really foul. The rest of the items in menu number 14, not too shabby. The new menu number 14, Mexican style rice and bean bowl, that is an amazing main. It has the exact same side items as the original menu number 14, but that main is actually really good. I'm not normally one to sing the praises of a US M.O.R.E, but that main was rocking. The picante seasoning they gave you with it set my face on fire, and that was all right. I definitely think they could put better side items in with this rice and bean bowl. Tortillas and cheese mainly being the two obvious things to put with a rice and bean bowl. That would have made this M.O.R.E absolutely epic, but they didn't. But I certainly thank you guys for coming along with me on this goofy ass channel to check out some US M.O.R.Es. And you guys know what time it is. If you can find something better than these M.O.R.Es to put in your face hole, you absolutely know what to do. At least by now, I would think you know what to do. Eat 'em up.